Cup is going to Brazil and the Olympics, right? How are those interwoven into this whole mesh of protests? So and people are getting displaced because of the World Cup, right? So they're using all the money that's coming in for FIFA, and they're doing like social cleansing. They're moving people out. How does that fit into these protests?
Well, I think one thing that I heard about the Free Fair movement, they were pretty much against about the artistic movement involved in the protests, because for them was kind of like a distraction to get the goal, you know. So I think from June to now, one thing that was really huge for the protests, like people who like to involve people to go to the street, was okay, should we do more protests against the fair or to reduce the fair and get involved on it, or should we like get all those things and try to get together? So I think the World Cup and the situation in Rio was more like, or Rio and other cities will be not a second step, but something that we need to, or they're gonna figure out like in the end of this year, like in the next year, like the beginning of the next semester, you know? So I think it was very distracting in different ways, you know, like how the June protests, like just in how the Free Fair movement managed like how to negotiate with the government, and so the political ideas behind was more like, okay, they win for that. So how we can win for like World Cup, or how we can win for the global idea behind Rio de Janeiro, because it's not the World Cup, actually it's the idea to turn Rio in a global city. So it's a really hard thing to be against or to destroy, you know. And the other thing is dams, like the energetic program to Brazil. It's a huge program, and like the PAC, like it's a huge amount of money, like movement money from everywhere. So it's really hard. I really don't know how those things are really connected. It's really messy now, how they're not like very organized for that. That's the thing that I've been seeing like on distance. But the thing that I think it's really huge now and strong enough is the Free Fair movement, because they found a way to go through the system and manage the system in favor of the cause, you know, like how to reduce. Now the step is, okay, we need to discuss tax, public tax for that, and they are in this level now. So we are learning. It's very like a learning process, I think. Did I?
And maybe the music and celebration aspect of the protests, did that kind of just come out of people getting together and seeing that was what people wanted to do, and it gave a lot of momentum? Or was it some movements that were leading it, or someone who said we want this to unite people?
I think it's this way to make protests is a way to get people more involved for a cause, like to connect to people, and like we don't have the critical education like from our school, so pretty much the masses, they don't get involved. But most of the videos, when you see protests like that, you see people like just saying like behind like just saying like, oh, they're right. Yeah, I agree, or, you know, so they get involved and they know more because they're enjoying. And I think that was the way that's was the way that Brazil was trying to connect and get the masses with them, you know. And yeah, that's it. I don't think it's effective, but I think it's one step about our political maturity. I think I see ourselves like a teenagers in our kind of democracy, you know. We are learning a lot how to make our democracy in our way, you know. So that's one way, like one step. Like the free fair movement, they found another way, and it's a large step, you know. So you can see like the growing, like with maturity, that this kind, like more people like disconnected with pretty much all the political scene. It's like, okay, we should use that more. It's necessary, but to go to have another step, it's another thing, you know. Did I respond? Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
I have a question. Did indigenous people who have been displaced, did they join you in your movement or they do another movement in?
The indigenous people, like in my opinion, it's like they're like a huge. They have political maturity more than everyone in Brazil, and they have resistance. They're doing a good job. The hard thing is they don't see themselves like Brazilians. They see themselves like a nation, each like tribe, you know. And the other thing was we don't have those movements like connected with them. So it's like it's something growing now after like this big project for dams in Brazil after Belo Monte started. People like more connecting with them, like people from urban cities around the indigenous areas, they get connected, but the indigenous people, they're not going to the streets. They doing like barriers like in these areas. They like they kidnap people, you know. They go to Brasilia to negotiate directly. They know how to make the steps for that, and they are really resistant. And this is another case in Brazil. I think if you want to see maturity in political ideas, it's indigenous leaders, you know. In pretty much, is growing up a women movement in indigenous case from indigenous women. So they make like manifests and they send letters, they make petitions, you know. They are using online system like internet for that, you know. They're using videos, but they negotiate directly who are like with people who are organized or corporation, like institution, who are like directly against them. So that's the other case in Brazil scene. That's it.
Thank you.